All right, welcome to game 7 of 9 of the games where I was trying to help my friend get from gray to experienced. I was sitting in seat 5 in this game as a liberal. My friend was sitting in seat 1, so hooray, we're both liberal, and we both get to be in government together, which is great. It's perfect. This is a great situation for us because there are, or for 1, 2, 5, 6 meta, because there are 2 fascists in 3, 4, 7, and that is optimal. Not optimal. Optimal would be Hitler in seat 4, but nearly optimal. Uh, and let me just go ahead and get into this game. This is a liberal win, I believe. This is the last win in the series. The last 2 games are both losses, I believe. Okay, so my friend gets 2 blues. Nothing too crazy. So we have a +1 deck state. And then Hitler decides that he would rather play the red and not conflict in case 6 is fascist. See, now this is kind of like a low ELO sort of thing. Hitlers are afraid of conflicting their own fascist, but there's no reason to be afraid of that because at the end of the day, 6 is still out of the game. So you kind of want 6 to be liberal. If 6 is fascist, that's just kind of bad luck for you, bad seeding. There's not much you can do about it. And that's why you are better off just giving the blue anyway as Hitler. It's early game. It's having 2 blues down with 0 reds, not the end of the world. You're gonna have a chance for reds to get down later, etc., etc. So we start off the game with a +1 to the deck state, and this puts it back to 0. As you can see, he actually got a blue, so we're actually down 3 out of the 6 total blues in the deck. We yaw 3-7. I disagree with this play personally, but it was going to happen. The fascists decided to play blue together anyway, so that's nice. We then 9-4 because he makes a bad pick. I've already talked about that. 4 should pick 5, so the 5 can pick 1. I don't know why 2 is 9ing this. This is way too early to start thinking about which govs you should play. He is 9ing this gov, right? We already 9-4, so that means that if this gov is 9'd, you have to play 6-2, I guess. Yeah, 6-2 would be the gov. And that is, there's no reason why any reasonable person could ever push for that, right? Like, from 2's perspective, if you're liberal in seat 2 and you draw 3 reds, and that means there's nothing bad about 6 that you have any actual information on because you're the one who gave him the 2 reds. But it's a little bit selfish to do this, and it kind of looks like it kind of just makes you look like a fascist, and that's at the end of the day, the entire sort of goal, if you will, of both sides is to appear as liberal as possible. So that's detrimental to the fascist team. So we have 3 blues down. This is looking pretty good. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 2 and 6 yaw each other. I mean, 6 can yaw there. It's fine, but 2 can't. 7-3 then yaws. And I get this, right? Okay, so I just want to talk a little bit. 7 is a blue chancellor, right? But he's a blue chancellor on invest, right? So at best, right, what that means is that he is a person that did not give somebody else invest on given the choice. And the thing about being fascist is it's not usually beneficial to the fascist team to give somebody else the invest power, to give a liberal the invest power and conflict. So the fact that he's a blue chancellor actually has no bearing on whether or not he is liberal. And so in my opinion, even though I yaw this, and again, 2 is still making terrible plays for his team, we should really just 9-1. That's just my opinion. He's a red, blue, blue president. He's now a blue chancellor. Again, the fact that he's a blue chancellor has no bearing. Same for 7, but at least he was a blue president as well, even if it was forced. I still consider that marginally better than just a blue chancellor on choice on IMV, because it's the fact that it's on IMV that makes it less valuable. So anyway, this gets Yod. He then, of course, plays the red, which is really shit for us. I will say 1 would have no decent picks. He could pick 4. I kind of doubt it. He'd probably pick 3. And he might get conflicted. Who knows? Who does he IMV? IMV and claims liberal. Yep. This makes perfect sense. Nothing too crazy there. 1-5 then plays, of course, so that 3-7 can play. would play the fourth blue together. At this point, it's pretty hard for 1 or 5 either of them to be fascist. They're pushing a little too hard to be liberal. If 3-7 is lib and the 1-5 has even if 1-5 only has one fascist, at this point you are you're banking a little too much on luck. So of course 3-7 is going to play here. They're going to play a red, and they're going to have to SC1, and that's totally fine as long as he doesn't pick Hitler, which he doesn't. He picks me, and he plays a red here. And who's he going to shoot? He shoots 7, the person who takes Imv. And that's a perfectly reasonable shot, in my opinion. I would have liked to have seen him shoot 2 just for the terrible voting. There's probably a lot of conversation that happens during the game that kind of obfuscates the bad voting. And one of the problems with the site in general, is that it doesn't keep track of votes like that. And I think it should. And it's kind of unfortunate that it doesn't. You should be more accountable for the way you vote in a game, because it is important that people remember that. Anyway, so I'm still, he still play the fourth blue, and as long as I personally get Yad, that's how I know, 1, a fascist is dead, and 2, I'm likely, I know I'm liberal, so we're likely in good shape here. I pick 4. 4 is always going to be a decent pick because he didn't touch the deck, and I'm pretty sure it was a -1. It might have been a -1. I was keeping track. I stopped keeping track. I'm pretty sure 7 makes it a -1 to take him, if I'm correct. And of course I force blues anyway, so it doesn't even matter, and we just win the game right there. So, not much fascists could have done. Fascists barely even got in Gov. We could have swept them a little bit better, as liberal, to be honest, by not yawing 7 and instead of 9ing to 1, who was marginally more liberal than 7 at the time, and then became way more liberal. But yeah, we all played it pretty well. Hitler was in a pretty bad spot. He was not in a good seat to get picked. That's usually the only chance that fascists have to win these types of games, and is to have Hitler in a really convenient spot. So, anyway, I'll see you guys in the next game.